Hey guys, it's me again. I am here to get ready and do my makeup and to talk to you guys about a true crime mystery that I've kind of been following for the past maybe year to year and a half, and just talk to you about it. There's been some recent developments. I'm really super into true crime, and so I thought this would be kind of a good way to introduce it to my channel and also do my makeup because I need to get ready for the day. So here I am. I hope it doesn't bother you that my gigantic mirror is like in the frame, but it's the only way I could make this all work. So I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't bother you. But, yeah, so we're gonna get started on the makeup. This really isn't like a tutorial, I guess, but, I guess I'll just show you the products that I'm using. This is a No Pore Blem Primer by Touch in Soul. Okay, cute. There we go. I'm like such a beauty guru. Okay, so the, true crime murder that I'm going to be talking about today is the DeeDee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose case, which I originally heard about back, let me see, probably over a year ago now. I heard it on Kendall Rae's YouTube channel. I freaking love her. She's amazing. She does true crime so well, and she really focuses on like the informational aspect of it, instead of kind of like the commentary or the opinion aspect of what's going on. My computer just shut off, which was like really rude of it. Ugh. Sorry, my arms are so short. Okay, can you see me? Alright, I can see myself now, so that's what really matters. Okay, so I first saw it, like I said, a couple years ago, or I shouldn't say that, like a year to a year and a half ago. It was very fascinating to me. So if you don't know about it, basically, it's the case that brought Munchausen by proxy to the surface and kind of helped it become like a well-known disease, I guess. This is the, like, just the Fit Me matte and poreless, the cheapy stuff that you can get at the drugstore. But yeah, so Munchausen by proxy is basically where you, like, get a thrill from other people's problems, I guess, and you try and gain the sympathy of other people on the outside by kind of exploiting other people's problems. And sometimes it gets to the extreme of creating problems that don't exist to gain the sympathy of other people, right? And this is the complex or disease or whatever you want to kind of call it, mental issue that DeeDee Blanchard suffered from. So DeeDee was a mom. She was pretty young. I want to say she was in her early 20s when she got pregnant from a man who was a couple years younger. He was in his late teens when DeeDee found out she was pregnant with a little girl. And they ended up naming this little girl Gypsy. And she was just really cute. And so as Gypsy started to get older, people started hearing her story about having all sorts of problems, health problems. So DeeDee would say that Gypsy had cancer. She had like all sorts, I'm trying to think, like She had epilepsy, she had asthma, she had a whole plethora of medical problems. She would have surgeries for them. She would have, Gypsy, the little girl, would have surgeries for these things. She would take medication for these things. It was like a pretty crazy story that was, you know, people felt terrible for this poor mom. She couldn't work because her daughter was so sick. She had to stay home and like take care of her all the time. So she was on, you know, government assistance and donations from the community. And it really came to light when Hurricane Katrina hit because Habitat for Humanity ended up building her a house. That's, you know, this mom and daughter a house. And it was completely accessible for people in wheelchairs, which Gypsy was in. The daughter was in a wheelchair. You know, it was just very handicap accessible, handy-capable accessible, whatever. Trying to be politically correct here, whatever. But, yeah, so it was all decked out to help, you know, this poor girl who's dealing with a lot of health problems. So as Gypsy starts getting older, she starts to realize that she's not as sick as her mom makes her seem to the outside world. And she kind of starts asking her mom questions, you know, why am I taking this? Why do I have to have a surgery on that? You know, I feel fine. Why am I in a wheelchair? I can walk. And Gypsy actually reports now that there were times when she would get up and just walk around like it wasn't a big deal. And her mom would get really, really like upset at her and say, you can't do that. You have to be in a wheelchair. If anyone sees you, we could be like, you know, up Schitt's Creek, be in a lot of trouble. So, you know, it put Gypsy in this very confining situation. She felt like, you know, well, I'm fine and I'm young and I'm healthy for the most part, but my mom is telling me I'm not, and getting mad at me. And, you know, there are reports that her mom was physical, when, Gypsy wouldn't kind of play along or go by her rules and all this stuff. Oh, by the way, this is, the powder I used was Pretty Vulgar by the Powder Room, and it's just like their translucent setting powder. So, Gypsy was stuck in like a really hard situation, and she's growing up, obviously, through all of this, and she starts discovering things. Sorry, I just got this new palette, and I was really excited to try it, so I'm like opening it up right now. Oh my gosh. It smells like chocolate. Okay, sorry. This is the Pure Festival palette. It's like so beautiful. Sorry about that. Oh, there's my laptop. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? Okay. Anyways. So, I'm using Epic. So, as Gypsy's getting older, she's starting to like become more aware of the outside world. She developed a friendship with the girl next door to her Habitat for Humanity house. She started exploring the internet a little bit, as we all do when we're, you know, in our teens. And she meets this guy that she starts talking to, and she confides in him about all the stuff that's been kind of going on. I'm actually going to use Gypsy. It's a color in this palette, and I just really feel like it's fitting for this video. It's this purple color. So she starts confiding in this guy about what's going on with her mom and what her mom is making her do and how she feels totally fine physically, but her mom is telling her basically, like, you have to play along. Like, it's really important that you play along. And she was reporting to this guy that she felt, like, completely trapped in this situation and didn't know what to do, didn't know how to handle it. And they ended up coming up with a plan to kill her mom. This is a murder mystery, if you guys forgot for a second. But she said that she felt like the only way to get out was, to get rid of the person who's trapping her. Which I guess I kind of, like, sympathize with in a way. I mean, this poor girl has gone through so much trauma in her life. And to find out that, like, it's all made up would be just very traumatizing, Anyway, so she and this guy first meet up at the movies. So Gypsy and her mom are inseparable. Her mom goes everywhere with her. And so they had to Gypsy and this guy had to come up with a plan to meet. And sorry if you can hear that outside. I don't know what that is. I'm also going to go in with Wild Child and just kind of, like, play around with it a little bit. It's the pink right next to Gypsy. So, they come up with this plan that they are going to bump into each other at the movie theater and pretend that they don't know each other, but Gypsy's going to say, like, oh, you're here alone. Why don't you sit with me and my mom? Not a big deal. Well, her mom ends up not liking this guy and thinking this guy is really creepy. And while they were in the movies, she kind of, like, leaned over and whispered to Gypsy, like, don't you think it's odd that this, like, grown-ass man... Oh, so they were, like, in their late teens, early 20s at this point. She's like, don't you think it's weird that there's, like, this grown-ass man sitting in, like, a kid's movie, I think it was a Disney movie. And her mom just kind of got, like, a weird vibe, and Gypsy's like, no, like, I feel totally fine about it. And, I'm gonna go in with 24 Karat Magic, which is right here. Am I gonna go in with that? I don't know. So, she and her mom kind of, like, get into it. She gets up and goes to the bathroom, and this dude follows her to the bathroom, and they have sex in the bathroom. So that's the first time they meet. That's the first time he meets her mom, and they have sex in the bathroom. So, anyway, later on, he goes back home. Later on, they hatch this plan, to murder her mom, as aforementioned. And he comes to her house, and she leaves the back door unlocked in the middle of the night. And he comes in, and he tells her to, like, stay in her room and cover her head with, like, a pillow so she doesn't have to hear what was about to go on in the other room, which is just heinous, if you ask me, but what do I know? So, she does exactly that, but she can still hear her mom screaming, and as anyone who has a conscience would, she starts to feel, like, really guilty about it, but she goes along with it. The plan is done. You can't unmurder someone. So she and this dude get up and leave town. And they start heading towards his house. And a couple days later, no one has said anything. No one has found her mom, to Gypsy's knowledge. And so Gypsy starts feeling bold, I guess, or wanting someone to find it. I don't know if it was guilt or if it was, I don't know what it was, but she just felt like she needed to announce it. So I'm going in with this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3, and I'm going in with this, like, white color. I'm just highlighting. So she tells her little boy toy that they need to get the word out. And he decides that he's going to go on DeeDee's Facebook and post a very vulgar status about, like, oh, I killed the bitch and I raped her daughter and all this stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention, after her mom was murdered, in the house where, like, the dead body was, they had sex. Like, crazy. So disturbing. Anyway, she says later that it was rape. She didn't want to have sex with him then. He said that it was consensual and it was all part of the plan. So, take it for what it is. I don't know if it was rape. I don't know what it was. He was never charged or indicted or found guilty for raping Gypsy. Not to my knowledge, at least. But yeah, they had sex in the house. Okay, left his house. Yada, yada, yada. He posted vulgar status about killing the bitch and raping her daughter. And hearing, the screams from her daughter or whatever. It was really disturbing. You can Google what, the exact quote. But it was very disturbing. Sorry about my computer. No one told me how to shut it off yet. Shut my texts off on my computer, so here we are, still dealing with it. So, anywho, all of that happened. They end up getting caught pretty fast because your computer has this funny thing called an IP address that police can track. I don't know if this guy didn't realize that, but they can track the location that these statuses are being sent from. So concerned neighbors and friends call the police, obviously. I'm using the unique #1 palette. And I'm using chipper for my eyebrows. This isn't my eyebrow brush. So the police track this IP address, track it to his house, and find both of them at his house. Arrest both of them. And they're interrogating them. And basically their whole plan or scheme or whatever is discovered through these investigations. They eventually come out with it, so to speak. This is the Butter Stroke of Wow roll-on, like, liquid eyeliner. I'm just going to do my eyeliner real quick, and then I'll go in with my brows. But yeah, so it was, like, discovered pretty quickly what they did and why they did it. And Gypsy was charged with 10 years for the killing of her mother, and her little boyfriend was charged with life for the murder of Gypsy's mother. So that's kind of the general story. And a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on what happened, why it happened, if Gypsy really should have been found guilty at all for what happened, because I think a lot of people really feel bad for her. I know I do. Like, I know I have some level of sympathy for the girl. Is murdering anyone ever okay? No, of course not. But I do have sympathy for her. I mean, she was taking medicines that, you know, could kill a freaking cow. I mean, her teeth were falling out, her teeth were rotting, her, you know, I do feel bad for her that she had to go through all of that. Her mom, I do think, was guilty, I guess, of doing some pretty shady things in terms of, you know, monetary gain fraudulently. I do think there's a little culpability there. I mean, she took a lot of money from a lot of people by lying about her story, basically. Or her daughter's story. And her daughter really, I'm sorry, like, this is totally obviously an opinion, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this whole thing, but I do think her daughter is a victim in some way. Obviously, killing your mom isn't the answer, but she felt trapped. I don't know. I'm not justifying her behavior or anything, but I guess I'll just leave it at, I do feel like a little bit of sympathy for the girl. I mean, it's a tragedy kind of all around. I think people can agree on that. So anyway, it was a fascinating case, and Kendall Ray told it so well, so much better than I ever could. And I'll link her video down below, because she is phenomenal at telling stories, and she has a bunch of subscribers, I think over 1 million, but she deserves all of the subscribers because she's just phenomenal at her social advocacy and like trying to find missing people and helping with sex trafficking with children and stuff like that. So she's just an amazing person. So definitely go check out her video. But yeah, it's just kind of a horrendous story. I feel terrible for Gypsy. I feel terrible for that community. I mean, it was this small little community in, the middle of nowhere, Missouri, and it got completely shaken up with this murder. I feel bad for DeeDee. Obviously, no one should ever get murdered, and the way she got murdered was horrendous. She was stabbed like 37 times or something. She was stabbed a ridiculous amount of times. And it's just a tragedy all around. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, like, if you think there was just cause for it, if you think it was self-defense on, if you think it was self-defense on Gypsy's part, if you think she had a viable reason. I would just love to hear all the opinions out there, because I think this case really is fascinating, and I do think that there are people who suffer from what DeeDee was suffering with and are negatively impacting other people's lives, family members' lives or close friends' lives, because they try and gain the sympathy of others by turning their loved ones into victims, basically. And DeeDee really did take advantage of this young girl who didn't know right from wrong. She was able to trick an entire community, medical professionals, into writing prescriptions for all these ailments. Yeah, it was just a crazy, crazy story. Sorry, I'm just going in with the leftover eyeshadow that was on this brush that I did my crease with. And I'm just kind of like throwing a little bit underneath. So, I did my, where did my bronzer go? I did my bronzer with Pretty Vulgar in Bronze Mannequin. And then I did, I don't know, the Sass. I don't know where that came from. I did my blush with the Cover FX in Sublime. I have this like little palette and I just use that. So, sorry guys, I'm really bad at tutorials. This isn't a tutorial, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to go in with Artist Culture and Purple Dream for my highlighter. It's actually not purple at all, very orange, very salmon, but we're here for it. Okay, so definitely leave me a comment below with what you think about this case. If you enjoyed hearing about this, I enjoyed doing my makeup with you. It was fun. It is fun. I'm still doing it, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed Kendall Ray's video on this case. Oh my gosh. I totally almost forgot to tell you how this even, like, what inspired me to film this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, like I left off with, Gypsy got 10 years in jail, and since she's been in jail, she started this pen pal program, right? Do you see where this is going? Maybe not. She met a boy, and she got engaged to this guy that she met via a pen pal program. I don't know. I'm inclined to think that the guy's in jail too, and they were like writing back and forth like from prison. I'm not totally sure on that. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of information. Granted, I like just watched a video on this and read like a couple articles about it that I'll link below, and I like had to come on here and film it like immediately because I was like, that is so crazy to me that she got engaged at all. Not because I don't think she deserves love or anything like that, but just like, I personally would be totally scarred if the first boyfriend I ever had and first real like social interaction I ever had like murdered my mother. You know what I mean? I don't know. It would be hard for me to date after that, personally, let alone get engaged to someone that is possibly in prison as well. I don't know if he is in prison. I don't know what his charges are for, but it's a different dude who murdered her mom. It's just a crazy, crazy story. So I'll link all the videos that I got my videos and articles that I got my information from. And they also have a series on not Netflix, Hulu, called The Act. That is very well done. I've seen the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and it is super duper well done. Highly recommend that as well. This, by the way, is just Superhero by It Cosmetics. And then last thing, and then I'm gonna get off of here because I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. I'm going to use the Ofra Long Lasting Lipstick in Monaco. It's like this. It looks dark in the tube. It actually like matches my dress pretty well. But when you put it on, it's like pretty natural looking. So anyway, it smells like Malibu rum too. So if you had any crazy college days with Malibu rum and you can't stand the smell of it. Not me, of course. Just be aware that this does smell like Malibu rum. Okay, so there we go. There's this, like, it reminds me, here, let me bring you guys in. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, don't mind the gigantic mess I just flashed over there. But this reminds me of, like, a tequila sunrise or something. I don't know. Okay, there's the look. Done staring at myself now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And let me know if you want me to cover more true crime and just give my opinions, because I'm very opinionated. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.